Namaste students. According to the syllabus, for you on the transportation in plants, in the life process, that is the reproduction in plants and humans, ecosystem, as well as the unit for human body, in that endocrine system and adolescence, the circulatory system and the nervous system. So these portions are there for this academic year. Now we can I think I already finished these lessons. Now we have to revise. The first I have taken the lesson, that is the transport in plants. So in human body they have the we can see the particular systems are there. In circulatory system, it transport the important food and nutrients to the different parts of our body. But in we can see in the plants there is no circulatory system. So because it is not that much well developed organism, so that's why in the plant body, so some of the food and important nutrients has to transport from one part of the plant body to different parts. So this transportation means it is a process in which substances absorbed or synthesized in one part of the plant are moved to the other parts of the plant. So the process is called transportation. For the transportation in the plant, we can see the conducting system. In that, the two types of tissues we can observe, that are the xylem and phloem. Here, the xylem main function is it conducts the water, and phloem main function is it conducts or transport the food. Now we can study about this xylem. The xylem, it transports the water as well as the minerals which are dissolved in the water. The xylem, it consists of four types of the cells: tracheids, xylem vessels, xylem or wood parenchyma, xylem sclerenchyma or wood fibers. So in here, only the xylem parenchyma is the living cell, remaining three are the dead cells. But these four cells are help for the transporting the or conducting the water in the plant body. The functions of the xylem is transportation of water and mineral salts from the roots to the aerial parts of the plant body. So because of this xylem, the water and minerals is transported from root to upper direction. Tracheids, vessels and xylem sclerenchyma provides mechanical strength and support to the plant body. So because these are the dead cells, so it gives the strength or mechanical support to the plant body. So this about the xylem. Next we can study the phloem. The phloem, it transfers the manufactured food by from the leaves to the different parts of the plant body, because in the leaves we can see the chlorophyll. So chlorophyll is one of the important materials for the synthesis of food. So in the leaves we can see. Here in the phloem also, it consists of the four types of the cells, that are pseudotubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. In here, the phloem fiber is the dead cell and remaining three are the living cells. So its main function is they help for the transportation of the food. The main function of the phloem transport food prepared by the leaves to all the parts of the plant body. Next, phloem parenchyma helps in the storage of food. The phloem sclerenchyma provides mechanical support to the plant body. So this is the main function of the phloem. Now what are the main differences between the xylem and phloem? First one is, the xylem, it conducts water and mineral salts from the roots to the aerial parts of the plant. Phloem, it translocates food from the leaves to the storage organs and growing parts of the plant. And xylem, it is made up of tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. And phloem, it is made up of pseudotubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. And in xylem, conducting cells are dead. In the phloem, conducting cells are living. Next, in the xylem, conduction is unidirectional, means downward to upward direction. In the phloem, conduction is bidirectional. It is from both upward direction also as well as the lower direction also. In xylem, conduction does not require any expenditure of energy. Means it does not require any energy. But the phloem, conduction requires expenditure of energy. It requires the energy for the conduction of the food. And here the root, the main role in the plant body, because the root, it helpful for the absorption of water. So the root absorb the water and send to the upward direction. During photosynthesis, the plants produce their food as glucose, which is stored in the form of starch. This starch is transported in the form of sucrose solution through the phloem upwards and downwards to all parts of the plant, including its root. So this process is called translocation of solutes or translocation of food. Here, the phloem, its main function is transport the food to the all the direction in the plant body. So that process is called as a translocation. Here, the glucose, it convert into a starch and it is stored in the plant body. The starch is the insoluble form. Then it is converted into a again simple form, that is in the form of a sucrose solution. It through the phloem, it goes to the different parts of the plant body, because it is the sucrose or glucose, it is a soluble form and is simple form of carbohydrate. So absorption of water takes place by the root. In the root, we can see the many hair-like structure that we call as a root hairs. The root hairs nothing but it is the extension form of the epidermal cells. The extension form of the epidermal cells we call as a root hair. Here there are two layers we can observe. So that is the cell membrane as well as the cell wall. Here the cell membrane is the semi-permeable membrane. Means it allows the movement of only water molecules. And the cell wall is freely permeable. Means it allows the movement of all the types of molecules. So this is very benefit for the plant to absorb the water as well as the minerals from the soil. And in the root hair region also we can see the different parts also, that is the nucleus, cytoplasm as well as the vacuoles also we can see. In this vacuole, it is filled by the cell sap. The cell sap nothing but it contains the water and some of the minerals. So that we call as a cell sap. And what are the speciality of these root hairs? First one is it has a large surface area. Because of the large surface area, it can absorb the more amount of water. Next, higher concentration, root hairs contain the cell sap, which is higher concentration than the surrounding soil water. Here, because of the cells, high concentration of the cell sap, so whatever the minerals are there from the soil, it can easily enter inside the root hair region. Next, the cell wall is freely permeable, so it allows all the types of molecules to move inside the cell. But cell membrane is semi-permeable, so it allows the only movement of the certain substances, especially water, through it. So this is the main speciality of the root hairs. And in the plant, we can see the important physiological process. The first one is the diffusion. The diffusion nothing but is the movement of molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. It is a movement of molecules, means it may be the movement of gaseous molecule, liquid molecules or solid molecules from a region of its higher concentration to a region of its lower concentration. Good example is diffusion of the gases takes place in the plant body. This is a good example for this diffusion process. Next, what is osmosis? Osmosis is the movement of water molecules from a region of its higher concentration to a region of its lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Here, osmosis, it involves the movement of only water molecules and through a semi-permeable membrane. In the plant body, cell membrane acts as a semi-permeable membrane. Active transport. Active transport nothing but it is a movement of certain substances, especially ions and minerals, from its lower concentration to a higher concentration with the help of the energy. So here in the, I already said in the cell sap it has the water as well as the, some of the minerals are there. The mineral concentration is more in the root hair when compared to outside. That's why these minerals move from outside to inside, means outside is the lower concentration, inner is the higher concentration. That's why it is a movement of molecules, especially the minerals, from a lower concentration to higher concentration. When it moves from lower to higher concentration, it requires the energy. So this process is called active transport. Next, ascent of sap. Ascent of sap nothing but the upward movement of the water as well as the minerals which are dissolved in the water. So ascent means the moving upward direction. The movement of the cell sap to the upward direction is called as a ascent of sap. Next is the root pressure. The root pressure nothing but the pressure exerted by the root due to the continuous inflow of water. So when the continuous inflow of water takes place in the root region, it creates a pressure that we call as a root pressure. So this pressure helpful for the upward movement of this water and minerals, and from the root it reaches to the stem, then it goes to the leaves, as well as it also goes to the tip of the plant body because of this root pressure. So these are the main physiological process takes place in the plant body. Next, one more important, that is the transpiration. The transpiration nothing but is the loss of water in the form of water vapor from the aerial parts of the plant body. Here the plant also loses the water in the form of water vapor. So that process is called transpiration. So this transpiration, it creates a transpiration pull. This transpiration pull helps for the upward movement of water. Because of the scarcity of water in the leaf, it creates a pull, means it help for the movement of upward movement of water. At that time, because of this transpiration, the water moves upward direction, it fill in the leaf region because of this transpiration pull. So when the xylem is very narrower, so that we call as a capillary force. If the xylem is very narrower, the force is more, so more water will enters inside the xylem and it will easily move to the upward direction. That is a capillary force. As well as we also observe the cohesion as well as the adhesion. So these all things help for the upward movement of water and minerals. Next, what are the factors affecting the rate of transpiration? So we can see the sunlight, temperature, wind, humidity. So these are the factors which affect the rate of transpiration. What are the significance of this transpiration in plants? So this transpiration, it helpful for the cooling effect, means it keeps a surrounding very cool condition. As well as this transpiration helps in maintaining the concentration of sap inside the plant body. So it helps to maintain the water and mineral concentration inside the plant body. So these are the significance or importance of transpiration in plant. Next, what are the use of water in the plant body? First one is transportation. Yeah, in the human body we can see the blood. Blood is helpful for the transportation, but in the plant body, water is act as a media for the transportation. Next, it also helpful for the production of the food. For the photosynthesis, water is also act as one of the raw material. Next, it maintain the cooling condition in its surrounding. Because of transpiration, it lost the water in the form of water vapor. That's why it helps to keep the cooling. It keep its surrounding very cool condition. For this purpose, it requires the water. Next, minerals. Importance of these minerals. So in the minerals we can see the two types, micro and macro. Micro means which requires in a small quantity, macro means which requires in a large quantity. So macronutrients are nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and micronutrients are iron, manganese as well as the zinc, and its what are the benefits of these nutrients in the plant, and deficiency symptoms. So it is there in the textbook, you have to go through it. So these are the some of the these are the brief summary of these chapters. You have to read the chapters and you have to understand the concept, and you have to solve the questions which are there in the exercise part, that is in the review questions. You will get the easily answers from the textbook only. One thing, you have to read the we have to read and you have to understand the concept first, then you have to try to write the answers. So that's why you have to solve the question and answers which are there in the at the end of the lesson.